So I am finally outside today. It was supposed to have been a beautiful day, high of like 56. I don't know if that's what it is right now. It certainly feels chilly. Maybe it's just me. I'm still getting over my cold a little bit. Anyway, been trying to get outside all day long. I really want to get pruning done on my orchard trees, and I'm just having a hard time getting there. But finally got school done mostly with kids. Left some big kids inside to help some of the younger kids who are still struggling. And I'm gonna check a couple of things out here, maybe do a little bit of pruning, and I don't know, just walk around and enjoy being outside for a little while. First of all, I want to check my raised beds here and see how they're doing. The kale in here is really looking pretty good. And some of the stuff that I had seeded is coming up, which is good to hear. Some things you can definitely see how there's been an animal in here digging, but be that as it may, a lot of things have still survived. That red Russian kale, I could definitely pick a little bit of that if I wanted to, and even some of this little kale here too. But I would much rather wait. Kids having fun, but I would much rather wait till they are big enough for us to at least have a whole meal and leave some for later. Anyway, still looks like I need to do some reseeding in here so that we can fill in the bare patches. All right, now let's check the lettuce. All right, so some of that lettuce is looking really good, although it's still not big enough to pick and eat. And all of this down here looks like it was killed off by animals. See that big hole? I'm not going to say much about the animals getting in and tearing up my plants. There's just not much I need to say about that. So we're just going to let that one go for right now. Anyway, I'm going to close these back. Well, actually, I'm going to water these first because I haven't had any water in several days. Then we're going to close them back up. And down here beside me, this is where we started a bunch of rose bush seeds that are good at growing rose hips. So I'm going to give these a good water and pick up some of this dirt that the dogs, again, knocked out and put it back in the pot. It's never what I think it is I'm going to do when I come out here, but because everything probably needs a good watering, I'm going to go ahead and get the propagation bed watered, as well as the blackberries and maybe the raspberries if I can get to them. Now, this is where I found the hose. Over here, where Annette takes care of these ducks, filling their little pool every day. And you can see she's really doing a pretty good job because that water looks pretty darn good. There's not a ton of ducks in here, but there's definitely 4 at least. Anyway, if I found the hose up here, I better put it back up here. All right. And I'd better make sure I turn it off. Okay, got those 2 tests done. Now I guess I'm going to go about doing a little bit of pruning while I still have some daylight. First though, let's go check and see what the guys are doing over at the grill.
Alright. Down. Set. Hey! That was incomplete.
Get through here before you guys have another down. How is dinner coming over here? Oh wow, that looks like it's almost done. Doesn't leave me with much time to work.
Brats for dinner tonight. Cheese brats and regular brats.
Oh wow.
I wish they were homegrown from the farm, but they're Johnsonville.
Maybe one year. Hey, you're no, Hilda.
Oh, I better hide that.
Let's try.
Who's gonna come get it?
Oh, you got
Charlie.
Around it.
No, what I did was I went ahead and cut this lane out, and then I cut that lane out. And then I had...
Let's see if I can get 1 or 2 trees pruned. So I am certainly no expert at tree pruning. Matter of fact, I've done it very little, but I'm determined to change that this year in terms of doing it more. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm reading a little bit or watching a little bit of YouTube to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Or if not correctly, fairly decently, so that I'm keeping my trees on the healthier side. So down here at the base of this tree, there's one of those wire tags that I had told you about. Well, unfortunately, although I put it on very loosely when we planted the tree, it's gotten pretty tight on here and it's cutting into the trunk. So I definitely need to fix that. This is called a summer banana apple tree, and I purchased pretty much all of my apple trees from a company called Century Farms in North Carolina, where they grow a lot of heritage apple breeds that do well down here in the Carolinas. Now I actually want to work to but keep some of the clippings that I take from this tree, not because I want to graft them or anything like that onto some other rootstock, just because we smoke a lot and apple wood's popular for smoking. This is an apple tree. I don't see why I couldn't try to smoke with this wood. I need to do some looking up about that too, but why not? Now, right here, as you can see, there's definitely been an injury to the tree. And this, as you can see, is growing straight up into the middle of the tree. Both of those are things that you want to prune off. You don't want anything growing towards the middle of the tree because on fruit trees, you really want to open them up so that they have space, or so that a lot of air can really get in and circulate through the branches and through the fruit, because that helps to limit disease.
You know you're sitting right at the thorn.
This one down here is also injured, so I'm going to go, or already partially broken, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it back too.
That's all too.
This little branch here, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's pretty horizontal and is going straight out, so we're probably actually going to keep that one for right now.
Oh, no rush, no blitz that height. No, you said no rush, so that's for me.
This little bit is dead, so of course we want to snip that off.
Rush.
And I think I want to establish this one here as the leader in the tree. So that means I'm going to cut this one where I just put the tag. But actually I'm going to have to get the loppers to do that, because it's a little too big for my pruners. Okay, got my loppers. Okay, well, I'm probably going to stop there tonight, do a little bit more reading. I know I need to do something right in here. And I know I need to think about purchasing some spacers to space out some of the branches. Or I was recently listening to something where they were talking about maybe even kind of pulling the branches down loosely, you know, just kind of keeping it down a little bit so they grow out a little more horizontally. I need to do a little more looking up. Anyway, that's it, I guess, for tonight on my poor apple tree. This is really hard for me. I do not like pruning trees. I know it's healthy for them, and it's something that I definitely want to do for my trees, but it's hard to cut branches out of there and worry about making a mistake, you know, creating a tree that's not going to be healthy or that isn't going to produce a lot of fruit. Because we definitely want a good amount of fruit, but I also want good quality fruit that I want a tree that's going to be healthy, that's going to be as disease resistant as it can be, and so I need to give it the best start that it can have. This, by the way, was planted in 2020, so I've had it planted for 2 years. I did not prune it at all when it was a 1-year-old tree, 1 year from being planted, so it's not too neglected yet. Most of my fruit trees are only 2, some up in the orchard are 3 years old. I think there's a couple more further out there in our garden that are 3 or 4 years old and definitely have been neglected some. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I'm going to get these cold frames closed up and go in and eat my brats for dinner.